Dharma Master Cheng Yen visited Xindian Jing Si Hall, where she met with medical staff to discuss the pandemic. Tzu Chi University affiliated high school teaches students how to make vegetarian dishes and also meet local farmers. I'm Sean Scanlan. This is DaAi Headlines. Let's get started. Dharma Master Cheng Yen's tour of Taiwan's latest stop is Taipei Xindian Jing Si Hall. She met with the medical staff and Stanford University's Dr. Wang to speak on pandemic safety measures. Here's more. The Tzu Chi brothers assembled a prefabricated building for the hospital.
To tackle the increasing cases of COVID-19 in Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers and the Taipei City Hospital erected an outdoor screening station with an injury consultation unit, swab station, and X-ray. This effort has Stanford University's Director of Center of Policy Outcomes and Prevention impressed.
Tzu
Chi has many volunteers who are devoted, smart, and creative. They have out-of-the-box thinking, coming up with inventive solutions.
都会想出新的办法出来帮助人。
上来就是尊重、感恩、爱，这5个字很重要。人生啦，有了爱啦，社会才有希望。
Tzu Chi's history has always been written by the volunteers, relying on media volunteers to capture it, from the beginning of each Tzu Chi office to the previous SARS epidemic.
If you can write, then we ask you to write it down yourself. If you cannot write, then tell your story to another and ask them to write it down for you. In other words, we hope to document the nitty-gritty details of the entire history and invite everyone to be a media volunteer.
人人可见证，这就是很宝贵、很宝贵的事。你们真的是才女，而且呢，不只是人间的财力啦，是菩萨中文殊化身。
Tzu Chi's for mission and 8 footprints needs assistance of the next generation, so it may continue to add to its great sutra treasury.
Tzu Chi held 4 year-end blessing ceremonies at the Ming'an Elementary School in New Taipei City, inviting residents from the community to join. Let's take a look.
The grandmother and granddaughter pour cones into the blessing, wisdom, and double cultivation Ferris wheel made from bamboo tubes, with many cones of love gathered underneath.
I hope this pandemic will end soon and everyone can be peaceful and safe.
I hope all my wishes come true and my Chinese subject will score 100. My other subjects are very good in the exam.
People are learning how to make heart lotus charm.
I feel a sense of accomplishment and I think it is meaningful. When I see the master's Jing Si efforts on it, I feel an inexplicable touch in my heart.
This station is a children's favorite. Chen Yinxun, who is a Year 2 student from the Department of Fine Arts, teaches how to make magnetic stickers of vegetables and fruits.
I have joined the year-end blessing ceremony for the 3 or 4 times. I follow my mother to come to volunteer. I feel very happy to be able to give.
There are people who make new wishes for the new year.
In the new year, my wish is that the whole family can join me in going meatless. The whole family can join me in its Tzu Chi cultivation ground to become the first generation of Master Cheng Yen's disciples. This is my New Year's hope.
Light up the hot lamp and pass it down continuously to pray and cherish our own blessings.
70-year-old Lin Yanhui is a recycling volunteer who was once homeless and without hope until Tzu Chi volunteers cared for him and brought him to a recycling station. Now his life has turned around.
After the car accident, I was hospitalized for a while and almost used up my money. Then I just slept at the park.
Lin Yanhui was once a homeless person.
I once thought that after using up my money, I would take my own life.
Tzu Chi's assistant accompanied him all the way. Now he is a happy recycling volunteer. He does everything without being picky on tasks. The PET bottle is the area he likes the best.
My life started to become normal. I began to think positively and would not be as pessimistic as before. I think that doing this is meaningful and there's nothing in life that cannot be solved.
He recycles himself by doing environmental protection. He also extends this love to over 3 haircuts to serve the homeless.
My uncle ran a barber shop. I help him wash the hair of his customers. I just watch him doing that and learn hair cutting after a while.
He always bears a heart of reciprocation. His thought is very firm.
He turned to be a caregiver, doing good deeds to cultivate blessings.
Only until 70 years old, I realized my life has just started because I'm doing meaningful things now.
At the Douliu recycling station in Yunlin, 70-year-old Zhou Rongnan let go of his doubts about Tzu Chi and started to volunteer wholeheartedly, becoming a truly dedicated volunteer. Let's take a look.
As the sky turns bright, he drives the recycling truck to Douliu Tzu Chi Hospital. Zhou Rongnan is carrying the heavy recyclables in both hands. He goes to the hospital to carry recyclables on Saturdays. This is not the work that requires the most strength. On Friday mornings, he goes to the stores to carry boxes of heavy empty glass bottles.
The store owners are happy and we are happy too. We can reuse the resources.
Zhou Rongnan is also a member of Douliu Glass team. He used to oppose his wife's volunteer work with Tzu Chi.
I had to sneak out to do Tzu Chi's work. He would ask me about it. If I told him the truth, he would say, "You have too much free time."
As Zhou has retired early, he felt that his wife was spending too much time outside. Then one time when he met Dharma Master Cheng Yen in person, his perception changed.
When my wife was certified as a Tzu Chi volunteer, I went with her. I saw the master point to a direction with her finger. I started volunteering the next day.
Being touched and after much observation, he let go of his doubts about Tzu Chi and started volunteering. He was never absent from activities. As he participates more, he was often the first one to get there and the last one to leave.
He has always participated and helped out. He's the most important helper on our team.
Zhou guides the recycling station with his actions. He's learning while doing the volunteer work.
In Fujian province, recycling volunteer Li Biqing was dedicated to protecting the environment, doing recycling for 9 years with her tricycle. She has overcome her bad temper and now leads a meaningful life.
I feel deeply touched watching the ITV program, The Guardians of the Land. Some people suffer from poor health, but they do recycling well. I persevered and kept doing recycling. I'll do recycling until I close my eyes. I started to collect recyclables in 2012. Then I underwent volunteer training in 2013. After that, I received this volunteer uniform. Some people do not dare to wear this uniform outside, but I do. This way people will know we're doing recycling. I pick recyclables along the way. In the beginning, people would laugh at me, and I was afraid of people's looks. Then I explained I'm not collecting recyclables for myself, but I'm doing charity work. After selling these paper boxes, I can help people in need. In 2015, I underwent a surgery for an ovarian tumor. The doctor told me I could not ride a tricycle for a period of time. Back then, I could not go out, but I heard their call outside. I could not ride a tricycle, so I went out to pick recyclables and then asked another volunteer to carry them. After a period of time, I asked the doctor if I could ride tricycle again. The doctor said, yes, I can. I was so happy and I started to carry recyclables again. Before I did recycling, I was lost. When people told me to go worship the Buddha, I would follow them. I followed them everywhere. Now I no longer do that. I concentrate on doing recycling. I've listened to the Master's teachings and learned that we must work to create blessings and not just pray for it. appreciate the master for transforming people like me, or else I'll be lost in life without direction. In the past, my temper was very bad. I had many relatives and my mother-in-law did not help me. I would get angry. I would be so angry, but I did not dare to say it. I endured the anger. Now I no longer do that, and I do not get angry. I'm happy doing the volunteer work. I do not ask for anything in return. I simply follow the direction of the master's finger. I do not dare to follow her footsteps, as I cannot catch up with her. I'm happy carrying the recyclables. I can create more blessings for my family, and I feel very content.
And Hualien, Tzu Chi University-affiliated high school has set up a wide variety of courses that teach students how to make vegetarian dishes and also meet local farmers. Follow our report.
请问有什么汤？绿豆。对，绿豆汤很好。是的，那我们绿豆在放下来之前会经过什么处理？泡水。很好，为什么要泡水？比较容易变软。
In home economics, there are 4 themes, which include food and nutrition, clothing and textile, family resources, and home management. For vegetarianism, it belongs in the food and nutrition part of home economics. In junior high school, we have a task for them. That is, a mission to love their family. In senior high school, we have elective courses on happy lifestyles in Hualien. From the farmland to the dinner table, students have the opportunity to head to organic farms to explore and turn them into delicious dishes.
所以你要先有水跟调味在里面，面才能吸附你的汤汁啊，才会有咸味啊。
Most of the time, many people would think that home economics is all about sewing and cooking, and it's a course for females. But in fact, home economics is aimed to nurture a person's living skills. So all of our lessons have goals. We hope to nurture the kids with skills that they can take with them for the rest of their lives. During the first year in junior high, we will teach hygiene and safety of the cooking class and also basic knife skills. Later on, we will then incorporate the idea of nutrition and processed foods. In the following year, we focus mainly on scouting activities and food. We will then hold outdoor camping and cooking. The main purpose is for them to learn how to plan the menu and focus on teamwork. We also teach them main courses, side dishes, and soup. There are 2 major difficulties. One is safety, while the other is experience. For cooking classes, there are many ways to cook and also different types of expertise while cooking. There is also the experience factor, as some students will cook at home, while others might only be cooking for the first time in class. Due to this factor, we break them into small groups so that they can work together and learn together.
We learn how to add cooking oil properly and also the amount of cooking oil needed. It's important as it will splatter and it hurts when it comes into contact with the skin. And if you got hurt a few times when learning knife skills, well then remember not to use that way to cut the ingredients anymore.
Students will say that when they're at home, they are only assisting with the cooking. In school, they're like chefs. They feel very accomplished when they finish cooking a dish. They will then share what they used, what they've learned at school back home, to cook the dishes for their family members, and their family members like it a lot. This is what home economics is all about. It's about giving the students a set of living skills. Although it will not be tested in exams, in our daily lives, there are always challenges everywhere.
Sometimes when my grandmother is cooking, she'll ask me to help her. She'll also teach me how to cook. And after I help with the cooking, they said that the dishes I prepare taste good.
We will bring our students to the local organic farms in Hualien to understand the environment and the process of planting organic vegetables. We will bring them directly to the farm, teach them about the growth process of the vegetables, and then buy them from the farmers and bring it back to class to cook. This is hope that through cooking we can pass down the skills and also let the students understand the sustainability and tradition of the local people.
In response to Tzu Chi's promotion of vegetarianism, Xindian Monastery, along with Sansha Tzu Chi volunteers, give out vegetarian lunch boxes to offices, police stations, and community centers. Here's more.
Xindian Monastery and Sansha Tzu Chi volunteers work together to promote vegetarian meal boxes, benefiting more than 2,000 people.
因为国际新冠肺炎疫情的蔓延。
Due to the spread of COVID-19 pandemic, we are aware that we should not kill animals and vegetarianism is important. In the Buddhist society and even other religions, everyone should promote vegetarianism, as it is a common campaign internationally.
大家应该要共同来推动的事情，在素食或蔬食现在已经是国际上的共识。
University professor Teng Jing-Si, who has adopted a vegetarian diet for more than 30 years, has proven that embracing vegetarianism gives him strength.
My wife cooked pig liver soup for me, and I kept vomiting for 2 days. I felt that I should still adopt a vegetarian diet. Later, I went to the hospital for a checkup, and my blood test was normal.
Many people are considering to take the first step to go meatless.
I've tried to adopt a vegetarian diet for the long term. After a few months, I feel that I've gained good health. Recently, many year-end banquets at the restaurant have been cancelled. Despite that, I still feel peaceful.
I thought that my colleagues might not accept such arrangement. It turned out that my colleagues were very happy because vegetarian food was delicious and nutritious.
Many people have decided to adopt a vegetarian diet for better health and spiritual fulfillment.
People generally want to eat hot food in the winter, though such internal heat can cause indigestion. Eating some cool dishes like radishes not only dissipate internal heat, but also aid digestion.
As the saying goes, consuming radish in winter while ginger in summer, no need for a doctor's prescription. Winter is a good season to eat radish.
Radish is common in the vegetable market, something you can generally see and easy to buy.
Radish is rich in vitamin C and dietary fiber, which can help digestion and enhance immunity. Proper cooking can preserve nutrients.
Eating it raw is a good choice because this can retain more vitamin C. If cooking it, we should cook it for a short time to soften it. It will be done faster if we cut it smaller. This will retain more nutrients.
As radish has so much nutritional value, why do we need to eat more radishes in winter?
In winter, we may be less likely to do exercise and get sweat. We may eat more nutritious food as well. At this time, there may be more internal heat in our body. The radish just happens to be a cool-natured ingredient, which is complementary to the hot-natured ones.
Although it is good to eat radish in winter, people who are weak or cool-natured should not eat a lot. There are also some medicinal herbs that must not be eaten with radish.
Ginseng and astragalus are the Chinese herbs for replenishing qi. They're not suitable for eating with radish at the same time because radish consumes a little qi. At this time, if it's consumed with some qi tonified medicine, it will counteract its efficacy.
To consume radish nutritionally and healthily in winter, one should master proper cooking time and match it with the correct ingredients.
In Hualien, a 70-year-old grandpa has to sleep on the floor. Upon seeing his story, a single mother donated a bed frame and volunteers headed over to set it up. Take a look.
A single mother used her time during the night to dismantle the bed set all by herself. She does this because she saw the story of a 70-year-old grandpa living in Ruisui who could only sleep on the floor online and decided to do something to help.
I never thought that these unused items can be used to help others in need. I feel very happy. I hope that this care recipient can no longer need to sleep on the floor. Recently, the weather has been very cold and damp. It's not good for him to sleep on the floor.
我们要送到瑞穗的啊，因为他有糖尿病，要配合他的时间，所以今天要早一点出门。
At 5 o'clock in the morning, volunteers have already loaded the bed and head off on the 1-hour journey of sending love. Volunteers work together to set up the bed frame and change a fresh new set of bedsheet. It is hoped that Mr. Tian can have a warm and comfortable space.
I am so sorry. All of you have worked so hard and have been so busy just to care for me. I really want to repay your kind actions. I'm very grateful. Thank you all so much.
I see that he has not much clothes on him, so I brought some jacket for him and he was very happy.
Volunteers' love is like the warm sun during the winter, shining light and caring for those in need.
Kelantan, Malaysia was struck by floods recently, with volunteers preparing aid supplies to be distributed to affected villagers. Here's more.
In the aftermath of flood in Kelantan, city volunteers have prepared supplies to be distributed to affected villagers. A resident is riding his motorcycle, leading the volunteers to visit the affected villagers.
I feel very happy. Thank you for coming to help us. Thank you, Tzu Chi.
Kelantan was devastated by floods in 2014. Back then, city volunteers gave affected residents aid supplies and living subsidies, and also built prefabricated houses for them, helping them get through the tough times.
Oh, bang boleh step tak atas. Oh, bang si pakai atas. Habis tu. Oh, di tempat ada standby tu. Bisa ni. Oh, kayu tinggal tak apalah dia.
Back in 2015, Rahin has participated in city's construction of prefabricated houses for flood survivors. When volunteers visited his home, they found his family is immersed in sadness. Their child, who tried to save people in the flood 3 weeks ago, has passed away.
Ada 3 orang dalam perahu, 4 orang termasuk dia.
There are 4 people, including him, on the boat. He has fallen into the water. There were patients and his friends on the boat. As they were caring for the patient, no one could save him. They told me that he has fallen into the water here. I went looking for him, but I could not find him. I only found his shoe. I kept calling him, but there was no response.
Until now, Rahin's wife still cannot accept the fact her child has passed away.
Dengan itu, Master Cheng Yen dengan hati yang seikhlas mengharapkan kalian.
The Master hopes that you can take good care of yourselves. The Master and Global Tzu Chi volunteers are willing to reach out to you regardless of race, religion, or skin color.
Menghulurkan bantuan tanpa mengira bangsa, kaum, warna dan kulit.
City volunteers have reached out to people in need again. Despite facing repeated natural disasters, city volunteers' love and care will always be there for the villagers.
In order to control the pandemic, the Australian government encouraged schools to go online. A local Tzu Chi school also went online with tutoring courses to prevent the epidemic from affecting children's learning. We leave you with these images. Thank you. Goodbye.